Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was too busy watching porn on my Nintendo 3DS. So the eShop for 3DS and Wii U have finally crapped out. A truly heart-crushing blow for anyone unfortunate enough to live through the trying times of 2011 to 2017. In that time, we bared witness to many things, such as the death of Bin Laden, a rise to Kim Jong-un, and possibly the most insane election in American history. But, Nintendo fans were going through it too, of course. Sir, the Wii U flopped. Oh my god. Time is a bitch, and one of its greatest sins is romanticizing false narratives. You were an ugly child, and your parents being called over to the Walmart Supercenter intercom was met with sighs. I can be pretty harsh nostalgia baiting, especially when there are videos circulating of a literal Spurg A-team dedicated to buying $20,000 worth of eShop cards, and all while getting into it with the customer support line, the Lowe's cashier, and their banks. But I did have a 3DS back when I was a yokeling. This isn't the original, though. That one got stolen, so I went out and stole this one. Steal it further, not back. Anyways, I had a really fun time with it, so let's get into this. Let's get a headache from the little 3D slider and blow into our mics. Do it now. Getting the stage set for this, I'd like to offer some greasy bifocals with the little bubble marks at the very head so you get my perspective of what this was like to me. The 3DS came out at a perfect time. Pre-iPhone Lloyd, post barely recognizing myself in the mirror for the first time. I have a very vivid memory, actually, of being in an art class and handed a bookmark advertising it. 10-year-old me probably wasn't in the right place development-wise. From fending off the school pedophile and aggressive advertisements, my friend pretending to be a therapist deserved a lot more than a tanks as payment. Tangents. That's what's gonna have this channel blow up, absolutely. Anyways, to say a bookmark blew my fucking mind is insane in itself. But I was a DS kid. I loved it so much I got the fucking DSi. Saying it was mid is probably an understatement, but on the opposite end, religion is showing me God does count arson points, so I'm begrudgingly putting this on pause. When the 3DS finally did roll out, it disappointed me a little bit. It had an initial shock and awe of 3D, a portable meme maker, and a super interesting UI, but then immediately swerved into the expert lane with low-resolution models, hand cramps, and the 3D. I fully know now it improved later on, but childhood obesity be damned, Fat Lloyd was living in the moment. He never knew if he'd see the next. This wasn't super far off from whenever I first got my Switch too. Coming from a very cold and pessimistic place called late adolescence, there just didn't seem like there was enough there to justify the concept. That and also, you couldn't convince me Nintendo doesn't have an R&D team dedicated to crafting the perfect design to make anyone out in public with their products look like the most optimal depictions of dorks possible. I can't entirely say if things did get better on their own, or if soy was sneaking into my diet. Whatever, it introduced me to the special world of doxing after getting into Smash Ultimate. So everything worked out fine. Back to the 3DS. It wasn't until 2015 I'd finally decided to bother giving the bulge in my pants a second shake. I attributed this to Majora's Mask, my second favorite Zelda title behind Link's Awakening, and my first time acknowledging deadlines ultimately lead to devastating and life-questioning consequences. This fear is the backbone to this channel, and also wanting to eat my YouTube play button. All jokes, the general population at large would need a good 40 points off their IQ for this to happen, so I'm holding my breath. The second was Animal Crossing New Leaf. Getting tired of seeing all the 9gag reposts of New Leaf fan art brought me to try one of the best life simulators. With a wonderful cross between having nearly unchecked authority and villagers still having the courage to call me out on all these worrying designs, retains what I feel always made the series special. That Nintendo didn't toss their shoulders up when approached with record-breaking profits like a certain mixed bag little brother who I take a shocking amount of pity on for letting me recreate North Korea. For the next year and a half, your friend and fill-in for a father figure here was a definite happy camper. But at some point, I dropped off again, this time for much, much longer. Until 2021. Second semester of college, I just went through a very messy breakup from a nearly 5-year relationship, and then I was being told I was going to have to move into a hotel for 6 months. I had gone full ascended super bummed, but in the month before all this silly nonsense threw down, I managed to get my hands on a new 3DS XL. In full transparency, keeping the undies on though, I always wondered what I had missed after I sold my old 3DS, and also wondered what 3D without going cross-eyed was like. Add to that, rationalizing if I couldn't deplete some small child from this thing, and essentially scrambling its insides with all kinds of goofy GitHub applications, then I'm really the one missing out. Modded 3DS complete, it was time to check everything out. Old guilty pleasures like Pet Zombie to things that wouldn't immediately flag you on an autism screening like Samus Returns. Tomodachi Life and WarioWare fans, this is where you stop watching. That's my story with the 3DS, skimping out on all the lost 15-second clips I recorded of the Cleveland show I collected in my formative years. Time spent with this was priceless, but if I really had to, maybe say somewhere in the ranges of $350, say $599 from the hands of user Real Dragon Gaming 3D. It's still a console that I've found myself wanting to dig out of a drawer when I'm about to go on a night prowl for unlocked cars. Haha, check out the steps I got. Base level, the console had a well-rounded figure, not unlike your mom. Customizable themes added greatly to making a personal feel. It's my sweet belief that some people deserve that right to be taken away, and I should be allowed to shoot them. Being able to play music and videos off of the SD card was also a really solid addition. Bonuses, it helped prove Chris's claims to see the future a little. Bless Magichan, deliver us from jerk-ops and incest charges. Other cool things like a fully fledged Mii Maker and companion app Mii Plaza were there as well, as the passive-aggressive's game choice face raiders. I can't in good faith talk about the Game Notes app without it turning into a whole second video, so I'll spare both of us the heartache that comes with tapping into those emotions. Easily though, the coziest experience here on offer is almost certainly the
Random fun viewer, our name and theme protection, hello there, to pass our firewall. Please stand at your nearest window with open view for immediate compensation. Thank you.
Eshop is where the question changed. No longer do I ask, may I get the Mario calculator? It's now, where's the security code on this? For the first time, many of you were able to experience your first crushing reality check towards the internet coverage throughout the Midwest trying to download full games, along with cookie-cutter shitware being pushed out. All digitally for your convenience, of course. With a really fun, relaxed theme to complement the clean layout of everything, it's another voice to the group urging me to snap my Switch. Everywhere in the shop, there were little signs of flair. Whenever you made a purchase, it showed the download process with these little boxes filling up. A very Nintendo approach to familiarizing the next generations the joys of the eventual Amazon company town life. So when it was announced back in 2022 that the eShop was closing, it probably felt like a lot of people the final curtain draw on a childhood staple, like putting down a dog or finally admitting underwear has a 3-day limit. This was a massive pill to take. This explains why in that time the price of the handheld inflate blew up. We almost blew a secret dog whistle there. People like me who wanted a taste of something they kept pretty close before it's officially taken out. That unless you want your Switch to undergo $6 million man surgery. That silly Citra folder isn't going anywhere. 3DS though is still a very humble home, one being put up for sale with no overlook and plenty of yummy copper wiring.